My next guest has a fight at UFC Fight Night Halifax on February the 19th, Sunday night, against Alessandra Richie. It is the returning guest of the show. As always, a pleasure to welcome on Mr. Paul Felder, the Irish Dragon. Paul, first of all, buddy, how are you keeping over there in Milwaukee this time? How's all
Milwaukee? It's good, man. I'm living in a closet in the back of the gym, basically. Very, very focused because I have nothing else to do. Most days I don't even know what the temperature outside is because I'm just living down here in the basement of Rufus Sport, training with all these guys. But time's flying by, honestly, man. It's been fun, and the group of guys here is great. They're hilarious. They're talented, and Duke's the man. So I'm just finally 6 weeks into this. I'm ready to get out, see the sun, and go to Canada and get this job done.
Yeah, Paul, you're living in the gym. There's been a lot of changes. You have a new management team. You have a new opponent. You're associate fighting Gilbert Girino, UFC 208, this weekend in Brooklyn. Obviously, he fell out of the fight. Your opponent was supposed to have an opponent at the UFC Halifax card. His opponent fell out. What's the thoughts? It seems like everything is sort of new at you. A new gym as well, Rufus Sports. Tell me everything that's happened in the last couple of months. It's been pretty. It's almost like a fresh start, really, is it?
Yeah, that's kind of how it is. The management thing was in the works for a little bit, Sucker Punch and Brian Butler. But my old manager and a really close friend of mine, Robert Haydak, he knew since he was taking over with Alliance MMA that he was going to have to kind of pass me along. And he had been talking about this for a little bit. So that was very smooth. And I met with Brian when I was in Belfast for the UFC there and got to hang out with him and chat with him. And he was very adamant about me being at a camp where it was easier for me and the focus was definitely on me. And, he's friendly with Duke Rufus. And I had one phone call with Duke and he convinced me to give it a shot. I gave it 1 week. I said, let me take every training, see what I feel about it, how I feel about living here. And 1 week and I never bought a return ticket.
Yeah, it's interesting to me because even in Belfast, I know we spent a bit of time in Belfast together, and even there, the reaction after the fights, there was certain coaches, I'm not going to name names, there was a lot of interest for head coaches to actually look after you. I know you're a little bit frustrated, obviously, with Mark Henry. He's very close. He's a tight-knit circle of guys, and I think it was hard for him maybe to give you the attention that you wanted, so to speak. But why Duke? Obviously, what's the differences is probably the question I should ask compared to other coaches, and why did you go along with Duke?
Well, just in the phone call that I had, the way he talked about martial arts, being a lifelong martial artist like myself too, he doesn't just come at it like, oh, we're MMA, you know what I mean? He's a strategist. He's about technique, but at the end of the day too, he's fought. He's been in there. Same as Nick Catoni, you know what I mean? That was what I liked about when I did work with Nick. Is the guy's been in there, and he was a great coach. It was just the drive was killing me. I'm still talking to all those guys back home. There was never like oh God, leaving this gym. I mean, this was stuff that I discussed with them. They knew I was coming out here. They knew I was checking it out. But just the way Duke handles MMA, I mean, it's he knows that the sport is dangerous with little gloves. He doesn't come at it from like a kickboxing point of view where, you get away with certain things when you're wearing boxing gloves that you don't get away with when you're wearing MMA gloves. So all these things are calculated and taken into consideration with Duke. The guy never stops thinking about fighting. He sends me 600 videos throughout the day of, oh, check this Thai guy out. Check this boxer out. Check this video of when I fought. So he's a student of the game 100%. And I fell in love with how he teaches, and I feel fresh. I feel in shape. My weight is good. I don't feel overtrained. When I'm traveling around and doing a lot of my own workouts, I was kind of pushing myself in some of the wrong ways. So once I felt a full week of the training here and met the guys, it's just been great. I love it here. I miss my family, obviously, terribly, but you got to do what I got to do. It's only 6-7 weeks, and then it's time to make some money and beat this dude's ass.
It's pretty crazy. I've been, texting you a little bit, obviously, when the fight was pulled off the card or whatever, UFC 208. You're actually living in the gym as well. I don't think people understand the commitment and dedication that you put into this. You're actually living there in the little room in the gym.
Yeah, the gym's right out there. It used to be an office in the back, and now there's a futon. a shelf, a TV, and a hot plate. And I cook all my own meals. I've had a little meal prep company, and they give me one meal a day. I worked out a deal with them, and yeah, I mean, there's a fridge in the gym. I make my coffee every morning. I pass the mats, and they lock up, say goodnight to me, and I got a key to the gym, and I can come and go if I need to. But I'm here to whip ass and make money and win this fight. That's all there is to it. Whether it's Alessandra Richie or whether it's Gilbert Burns, we had to change up the game plan. Obviously, totally different style, but that's what I liked about Duke is we're working all that anyway.
Paul, you're a guy, you love that you can't, even you go on holidays, you can't stay out of the gym. You're always looking to get in the gym. You're always somewhere. With you living in the gym there effectively, is that a good thing for your mindset? Is it's you're away from your wife, your girlfriend and Ashling, it's starving you. Is this going to be punishment for Alessandra Richie effectively on fight night because you're putting so much into this?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say that, right? But yeah, it's just I'm focused. I'm very hungry. We just finished my last little glove sparring session, um, and I feel on. Normally at this point with the weight cut, it's pretty. You guys know me. You saw me in Belfast and in Dublin. I get up there, so it's a struggle to get down in weight. But since I've gotten so much rest being here, even though I'm living in a little back room, I'm getting so much rest in between my trainings. Like I just finished my sparring session and some clinch work, and now I'm gonna relax and lay down, watch TV, eat my lunch, then work with Duke later tonight and do some jujitsu. But
Have you
since I'm here away from everything, I'm recovering so much more.
have you been intelligent, obviously, then with your rest? Because as you know, we just said there, you're a guy who likes to, be in the gym 24/7, regardless. Has that been something you maybe put a little bit of extra emphasis on, to
Yeah.
stay out of the gym a little bit more?
No, I'm pretty much here nonstop. Even when I'm not, even when I'm not training, I get to walk to the grocery store down the street to pick and save, and I went bowling once, and the guys try to get me out, but you can ask my girlfriend. Even when I'm home for camp, I'm not like Cowboy, who's got a million extracurricular activities because he's the complete opposite of me. You know what I mean? He likes to go and keep his mind on anything but fighting, whereas me, I'm in here watching UFC Unleashed on Fox Sports 1 in between training sessions.
Paul, I saw some posts on your Instagram. Tyron Woodley, you've been
Yeah.
working out with him. Who have you been working out in relation to sparring? Has it been Showtime? Has it been Woodley? What's the situation there?
Well, Woodley's in here for sure, and he's working with some of the guys and some of the bigger guys. I'm just kind of more picking his brain and chatting with him and just, learning from his experience. He's got a lot of his own training partners, obviously, that have Wonder Boy's style. Even though I've got a Taekwondo background, I don't really have that in and out movement like Stephen Thompson. But the guys I've been working with, I've got this guy, Nate, Nasty Nate. He's about a 6 foot 145, real tall and long, likes to clinch, likes to knee, dirty box. So I've been going a lot with him ever since I got the fight switched to Mr. Ricci. And I had a couple young, wild, big punchers for my sparring when I was getting ready for Gilbert Burns, just because he's a typical Brazilian man. He's tough, let's bite down on his mouth guard and throw. And obviously Daniel Vandelay, who's the jiu-jitsu coach here, I've been doing all my ground and grappling with, and dude's a stud, absolute stud on the ground. Messes me up.
Your new opponent, Alessandro Richie, he's a boxer. He's been working a lot with Angelo Reyes, and the obviously world famous boxing coach down there in Las Vegas. I know he's from up in Canada, but his camp has been predominantly based there. He's been with guys like Kevin Lee, etc.
Yeah.
Almost, I look at this, and maybe you might agree with this. This is maybe a better stylistic matchup for you because he's a guy who likes to throw down. Gilbert Chirino's a little bit more of a grindy, gritty sort of competitor.
Yeah.
Submissions. Alessandro predominantly stands. He's a good striker. You're obviously a very confident and excellently technical striker as well. Is maybe this something that where you can let go a little bit more and it plays into your hands a little bit more because he's a striker?
Yeah, I think so. I think not that me and Gilbert would have been a fight of the night just because he does like to throw, but at the end of the day, I think he even said it in interviews. Gilbert was going to try to submit me. You know what I mean? He knew that if I have an area that's not obviously my strong suit. It's on my back on the mat, and I think he was going to try to take advantage of that. And there's nothing wrong with that, and we were planning to avoid that. But with Richie, yeah, for sure, he kind of plays into what I've been working on and what I'm good at, and we're able to look at his style, and I love that he's been working on his boxing. I think that's even playing into what we want to do even more, to be completely honest with you, the way we're approaching this fight. Yeah, I am letting go already more in sparring and everywhere, not just striking, takedowns, double legs, clinch, just working everything. And I think the confidence and coming in fresh is going to
Yeah,
show. Coming in fresh.
I was going to say that fresh, and you mentioned you say letting go there, Paul, and you've talked to me about you were working maybe with a sports psychologist. You were talking about doing. Is that something you've done in the build up to this?
Yeah, it's because his name's Duke Rufus.
Okay.
He's, he he is a very mental guy, man, and we always have like a talk at the end of every practice. He'll call me, he'll message me. He's very hands on. We have a very small group of professionals here, and Duke is all about your mental approach to the game. And at night, man, I do my own stuff. I listen to motivational speakers and stuff now. I fall asleep to I put on Spotify and just type in motivational
Do you not listen to the podcast?
speeches.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I thought this should
What's
be
that?
number one on your playlist.
Well,
Talk.
other than when I'm not listening to you, or any of you crazy Irish bastards, then I'm listening to motivational speaking.
Paul, is this a new home for you now? Is this somewhere you're definitely 100% going to stay? Because you've obviously, I know you were down with Cowboy, then you went up to New Jersey. You obviously there, Mark has a huge amount of guys we've mentioned there.
Yeah,
Where you're definitely going to stay around. Is it important for you maybe to get a home now? In
I think
relation.
so. I think so, man. I really like the guys here, and I really get along well with the team, and they fit my style. And on top of that, they've got great jujitsu and wrestlers too. I think people kind of overlook that with here. They think of Rufus Sport, they think of Duke was a professional kickboxer, and Pettis is a very good kickboxer, and Sergio and all these guys. But I'm in Milwaukee. There's wrestlers. Uh, there's grapplers. I got again Daniel Vandelay, who's a sick Carlson Gracie jiu-jitsu guy. So it's like I'm getting everything, and I want to bring the girlfriend and the baby up here to check it out. When I'm done, have a fight. I want to be able to visit Milwaukee a little bit. I don't know if I'll move here
Yeah.
as my permanent home, but I definitely want to maybe next time bring my car, maybe get an Airbnb or find one of the guys that needs a roommate. And the gym is just for the meantime right now to check it out. But yeah, I'll definitely be back to help other guys too. It's only a 2-hour flight from
Mm,
Philadelphia.
yeah, definitely. I want to ask a couple more things before I let you go, Paul. Obviously, Belfast, I know you did a little bit of sparring here. You're incredibly impressed with the boxing here in Ireland. Just your thoughts on your time in Belfast in relation to a place and obviously a place of combat. As I said there, I know you're impressed with Donard McNally, who you work with
Yeah.
quite a lot up there in Belfast in the gym up there.
I was super impressed with all those guys, man. Who was it, Joe? What was the young kid's name, the pro that was really good?
Joe McColgan's guy,
Yeah,
Donard McNally.
him and his whole crew there. The day I got to even grapple with them, I put them through kind of like an MMA workout, like I like to do from back here, and something we did at Nick Catone's a lot, the up down. Those guys were good, man. And Donner, he was the man. He got me cracking with the hands, and he still hit me up the other day. I got to hit him back actually. So if he listens to this, Donner, I'm sorry for not texting you back, but I'm living in a gym. The service is terrible. Yeah, man, I would love to go back there. I told those guys if I'm ever anywhere near Belfast, either they can come meet me or I'll come up there, um, and work with those guys. I was very impressed with the Irish MMA scene. I was at SBG
Yeah,
before when I was in Dublin and got to roll with all those guys, and I was impressed with their jiu-jitsu, and I was more impressed with the wrestling and the boxing of the guys up in Belfast. So I really think that part of the world in Europe is really, really speeding up with the level of the well-roundedness of MMA. They're not just good boxers anymore, or just good kickboxers.
definitely. generation coming through up in Northern Ireland there at the moment in the terms of mixed martial arts fighters. Paul, just one more for you. New year, new gym,
Yeah.
team, big results Sunday night in Halifax.
I'm excited, man. You know, for people that don't know, Halifax is where it all started for me. 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago, when I first signed to the UFC, I made this exact walk. So when they brought this option up, I was almost more excited for Halifax than Brooklyn in that way, because this is where it all went. I put those first UFC gloves on in Halifax. I went through this whole experience, and now to go back with almost 8 fights under my belt, 2 bonuses under my belt, fighting guys in the top 10, top 15. You know, now I'm the guy that people know when I show up and make that walk to the cage. And I'm excited to get to Canada and put on a show for those guys. They're great fans there. So anybody that listens from Halifax and Nova Scotia area, I'm super pumped to be back in your town, and it's going to be some fireworks on Sunday night.
Start of a massive year for Paul Felder in the lightweight division.
Hell yeah. Hell yes. It doesn't matter who. You know, I got caught up early on with a little success, like, oh, I need top 10 and I need this, and I ended up focusing more on that instead of just getting wins, making money, moving up the ladder, and then putting the UFC in the right way. Just putting on shows. Doesn't matter if number 5, number 4. You know, I'm not getting paid millions of dollars yet. I just need to get my ass in there and win, and get new contracts. It's all I want right now is a job, take care of my family, and keep them W's rolling in for 2017.
Paul, I always look forward to your fights and enjoy watching you again there. Do appreciate the time, my friend, as always.
Fun as always, brother, and hopefully me and the woman and some people get over there to Dublin and drink some pints soon, man. I'm thirsty for some beer, brother. Thirsty.
I'm looking forward to it, buddy. Do appreciate the time, Paul.